Hi, David. I am setting up a live stream that I'll share to social media, and hopefully people will see it and understand that the link got changed. Thanks, Zoom. All right. Thanks for meeting, for joining us.
Hello.
All right. Why is my computer not being nice to me? Oh, okay. All right.
Do you want to be a cuddle?
Hello.
Hello. Hello, I hope you can hear me. I'm turn off my video, it's messy.
Hello. I'll be right with everybody in just a second. I'm having to do a little troubleshooting.
Hey, when you can you let me share my screen?
Yeah, in just a minute.
Like I said, when you can.
Okay. Post that. There. And then computers, am I right? Wow, we got quite a few people who are joining. I'm so happy.
We're both so happy. So thank y'all so much.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for being here. All right, I've got it. I got it sent to LinkedIn and Facebook, and I think that's probably all we really need right now, because if I put it on Instagram, we'll get everybody from all over the world joining. Been there, done that. Scary stuff. So thank you guys for being here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have all of you. Okay, let me fix it so Kara can share her screen. I really wish they would let me do this for all participants when I first set the dadgum thing up, but no. All right, I think it's ready, Kara. So before we get started, I want to ask if anybody has any questions right up front. If they're going to be answered in the orientation, we will do so. But I just want to make sure before we get started, we don't want to waste anybody's time. If there's something that is not in the presentation, we either want to answer it right away, or we want to make a note of how to answer it, etc. later. So if anyone's got a burning question right now, go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll at least hear you out and then figure out how, in what order to answer them. Yeah.
And please feel free to write it in the chat if you would prefer.
Yes.
Just as a quick introduction, hi, I'm Kara. I'm one of your city producers, totally virtual, like I don't exist in real life, but
She does. She really does.
sadly, I am not as able to get up to Dallas as Aline is. Dallas is an awesome city, do not get me wrong. Love it, but I do have a day job.
Dallas is difficult to drive to for me too, but my schedule is a lot more flexible. So by the way, I'm Aline. If some of y'all know me, some of y'all don't. I'm also a city producer for Dallas. Kara and I have been producing in Austin. I first took it on in 2013. Kara came on in 2015 as a volunteer, and I never let her leave. So
It's true, she keeps them
eventually,
chained up in a closet.
yeah, I eventually made her my official co-producer. So. Okay, I don't see any burning questions. So Kara, take it away.
So tonight is just a basic orientation over some tips and tricks to think about, some things we really, really want you to make sure that get done. And basically, so you don't get overwhelmed this weekend, getting started now. And again, thank y'all so much for participating. You make our hearts sing with joy every time we see a new team registered. So thank y'all for being here.
And this is basically what we're going to go over, most of what we're going to go over in the kickoff, but maybe a little more in-depth in some things, a little more fast-paced in others. So this just gives
Especially
you,
for first-time 48ers, this is going to be a really good thing.
Yeah.
First, though, we need to say thank you to our national sponsor, Movie Magic Screenwriter, and more importantly, to our local sponsors, Blunt Co-working Studio, which I believe is the kickoff space. And
that's
Fort Worth-
right. And they're getting back to me on possibly doing more. So yay.
Show them some love on social media, y'all. And then Fort Worth Actor Studio, wonderful place. And especially again, thank you to all of you. That's us, but we introduce ourselves. We have a WhatsApp for this coming weekend. Please join it. This is the QR code for it on the screen. This is the hotline, the best hotline to get a hold of both me and Aline for questions about rules, concerns about tech issues. Your computer blows up, just let us know.
And it's also a great way to communicate with the other filmmakers, because sometimes they have a better answer than we do, or they can get to it faster or what have you. So we've got our fingers in a lot of pies that weekend. And so sometimes it helps to have backup, and you guys can all be backup for each other. So
And at the very least, I love seeing the cheering and the collaboration that happens. So, but again, we monitor this very, very carefully, and we are there. Does everybody have the WhatsApp now? Moving on in 5, 4, 3, 2. Safety first. We do not advise the use of guns in your film on multiple occasions, not just here in Texas, but in other states as well. Innocent bystanders who don't know what's going on, maybe call the police on you or things like that. And guns have been drawn on actors. People have been arrested. All of these could have tragic outcomes, none of which we want to have happen to all of y'all. If you do have a gun, that's fine. We're not saying you can't. We're just saying, please be aware and be careful. The only drama should be on screen.
yes.
And because COVID is still a very big thing, in fact, I think a new booster has come out. We all want to stay safe on set. Safe Sets International has a free course for level A. We recommend taking it for all cast and crew. Simply at least being aware of the different procedures that we should be taking and things we should be concerned about. What's new? So this is new this year. For those of you who have participated in other cities, it may not be as new to you, but everything's going to be submitted on the 48 website. It's a beautiful thing.
So there is no in-person drop off anymore. We'll have a Zoom to do a countdown, but yeah, the in-person drop off is now a thing of the past. Local wildlife are very happy.
And so I believe are all the cars that used to waste gas trying to get to us.
That's
But
true.
when you log,
Worrying about streets being closed down at the drop off site without any notice. That's happened.
yeah. Moving on. This is what you'll see when you log in, and it's going to be under the team leads login. Okay, so there's only one login per team lead. You can feel free to share that out with your editor and things so they can upload. That's always helpful. But this is what you'll see. You'll be able to download some title templates, the text specs for your film, things like that. You can put up a poster. And you'll see 3 icons down at the bottom. The 3 icons are pre-production, production, and post-production. Pre-production is where you can upload your team roster and your pre-kickoff paperwork. Now, your team roster, there's no separate document for that anymore, which is great. But we do need you to fill it out. It can go as you go, because if you add people during the weekend, that's great. But we do need you to fill it out. And we need people's names to match what's on their waivers. So if their name says one thing on the waiver and a different thing on the roster, there could be an issue there. So if you're John Q. Public on the waiver, got to be John Q. Public on the roster. All right, and then of course, production is where you're going to be uploading the film, paperwork and additional content, and fill out the wrap-up information. Post-production, you'll have access to it again after you upload your film. You can put some film information in there. Any questions so far? Excellent. This is what the roster will look like. We have its crew positions. You can have more than one position on one person. That is doable. If not, if you're not comfortable figuring that out, you can add them multiple times in different positions. That's fine. They don't have to have multiple waivers. But again, make sure their name matches what's on the waiver. This is where you're going to be uploading your paperwork. We have the certification statement, music release form, location, the regular waivers, which are like the cast and crew waivers, and the materials release form. Each document needs to be uploaded separately, like all the pages for one music release, uploaded one. All the pages for one location release, uploaded together. Each waiver by itself, one at a time. This one makes it easier on us to keep things clear and make sure that we've got everything all at once. And two, it helps you keep things clear. We had somebody accidentally upload their medical information instead of a waiver. So this also encourages you to think about what you're uploading at the time. We also need to know what's going on with your doctor.
We also recommend that you put one person on your team, if at all possible, in charge of the paperwork. That way you're not having to do it in a rush. You're not having to do it while thinking about 20 other things. If you can say, hey, this is going to be your job, make sure everything gets signed, make sure everything's uploaded in the proper category. I think they are going to fix it eventually so that we can change the category name, because we had like 20 team lead agreements uploaded once that were actually waivers. But I'm not sure that they are quite there yet. They're completely reinventing the wheel on this website, and so far it's great, and it's going to get greater, but we're still in the baby steps. So yeah, I highly recommend putting someone in charge of that to make sure that everything gets done right and on time, and etc. And of course, they're welcome to contact us if they have any questions.
And nothing says you can't start getting those signatures right now.
Right.
Just saying, that's not part of the creative process.
That's called administration.
Exactly. Don't forget to do the boring stuff so you can do the fun stuff. All right. We also have ways you can upload behind the scenes pictures, film stills, a poster, if y'all make a poster, which is very fun, a group picture, which we love, a 48-second trailer, a making of little video that you decide to do. That's fine too. We love all that. We use that to help spread the word about the 48, encourage more people to participate as filmmakers, and also to encourage people to come and see the screenings. But it is optional, but fun. Here's where you can get all the paperwork. All of it is available, downloaded on our website. There's blanks in the appropriate spaces. This is the paperwork we want to see. So I'm going to take a minute and let everybody just follow that QR code. Also, any questions?
I had one question on here about SAG-AFTRA eligibility.
Excellent question. I love you. Whoever that was, you're now my favorite. You're all my favorites, but they're like the gold star favorite. We have it in writing that from both SAG and WGA that working on the 48 is not crossing the picket line. Also, We do have paperwork for SAG actors, and there's a process for that, and all that paperwork again can be found through this QR code. And the SAG has special instructions, but it'll be involved in that paperwork. And if you have questions about that, you can DM us directly. But SAG actors absolutely can work on 48s. Good question. Any other questions? Anyone? Bueller?
Let's see, just for
Bueller?
clarification, are the trailer and BTS optional components are required? They are optional. We will go over why we like them and really want them in a later slide.
They're also not due by that Sunday either.
That's right. They're not due by Sunday night.
The only thing due on Sunday is the film and the waivers. That's it. The rest you can upload later. Please tell us when you do, though. All right, moving on. Again, all those documents are available through the 48-hour website. All right, now all paperwork must be complete, including all releases for the cast, meaning if they touch your film, get them to sign a release.
Get their name
People
on
bring
it.
you food, get them to sign a release. That sort of thing.
And that includes the team lead. The team lead
Yes.
needs a waiver in addition to the team lead agreement. Each of these papers are, they cover a specific legal, well, basically they cover a specific legal part of your legal ask, if that makes any sense. It covers you, it covers us, it covers HQ. So that's why it's important.
I believe I thought Solis Films raised their hand. Did you have a question?
Are there any specific locations that are recommended to use or avoid?
So
I can't really think of any, although, did we already go over public permits?
no, but
That we'll cover that in a later slide.
yeah. I am going to recommend getting a release form for every location possible. I do know that while public, you can film for free on public lands without a release, you might need a permit.
Yeah.
So that is something we can go into, but there's nothing we say yes or no to. I do want to point out though, copyrighted images can become a problem. So if you do film in a place with a lot of copyrighted images, for example, a bar with those neon advertising signs, cut them out of frame, make them fuzzy, or cover them up. Hopefully that helps answer the question.
Also, if you're using your own domicile and you have a written lease with it, you can sign the location release. You still need one because again, it's covering everybody's asses. But you can sign it because you are an authorized user of that space.
And then also the materials release includes any post-production effects or special effects. So just make sure you get those taken care of.
So we had a film once that used a paper bag that had a local hamburger stand logo on it. And they even mentioned, you know, this was so-and-so's favorite hamburger place. And when I saw it, I was worried because I'm like, oh my gosh, did they manage to get that? Yes, they did. They managed to get a materials release for that logo. So they went on to win that year. So yeah, make sure just if there's any doubt, get the paperwork.
Tips and tricks for getting through the weekend. I take a snack and stretch break like every 6 hours. You're working under hot lights usually. And even in October, in September, it is like 90 degrees with AC. So stay safe. And you're going to be standing. The boom guy is going to be holding that boom really steadily. Everybody needs to stretch. Like take 1 minute to do so. 1 or 2 minutes to do so. It's a great idea. Also, the 5-2-1 rule: 5 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day. At least one of them should be a hot meal, and that does make a difference. And 1 shower a day makes sure everybody stays friends by the end of the weekend. Did I mention y'all are going to be under hot lights and with no AC? If you have any doubts about how to include the elements we provide to you, please contact us. We have seen just about every type of variation of how to include things, and so we can tell you yes or no. The line must be verbatim. And when I say verbatim, for example, if the line is, "Where did you go?" "Where'd you go?" is not verbatim.
We had
We
that
got one
happen.
pass, that was years ago for that.
Yeah, we did get a dispensation on that. The line was, "Where did you put it?" And I didn't even think about it until I'm reviewing the films, and half of the films are not gonna pass. So I called up HQ and I'm like, "You guys know this is Texas, right?" Half of the people said, "Where'd you put it?" And they laughed and like, "Yeah, we'll let that pass this time." They specifically said this time, so please don't do that again.
We want each and every single person to qualify. We love all y'all. We want to see every freaking film qualified, but it must be verbatim. Also, you can break it up between two people. I can say, like, and again, in the example of "Where did you put it?" I can say, "Where did you?" And Elaine can then say,
Put it.
and that's fine, as long as there's nothing in between. You can also add words to the beginning or the end, like, "Rosie, where did you put it?" Or, "Where did you put it?" "In the garage." But it has to be as a whole there. If you're doing a silent film,
Our genre project line last year was, "It's not your fault, but it is your problem." And we had a few people say, one person would say, "It's not your fault," and the other person would go, "But it is your problem." So yeah, that's cool.
and even we don't know what the line is right now, so.
Yeah,
If it's a silent film, which is totally cool, we love seeing people be creative. Subtitles are your friend, title cards are your friend, like the old-fashioned black and whites. Put up a text message, it works, as long as it's verbatim. The film must be between 4 to 7 minutes, and they are very nitpicky on that. 1 second over can disqualify you. 1 second under can disqualify you. So make sure you watch that. You are allowed 1 minute of credits if that 1 minute of credits appears at the end of your film. If you start your credits at the beginning, that still counts as part of your film runtime, not your credits. Also, you can have footage going underneath your credits for that 1 minute of time, as long as it has nothing, as long as it's not like affecting the story that you just told. Bloopers are great, additional dialogue, what have you, as long as it's not part of that story. Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense.
you have to finish the main plot line before the credits roll, is what we're saying.
And all the elements have to be in the film somewhere before the credits roll.
Yes.
Tips and tricks from around the world. Friday is not just for the writers. DPs can get B-roll to help pad things out if necessary. Editors can start making credit lists, making notes for when they edit while the team is shooting. If there are special effects, those can be planned out right away, as soon as possible. ADs can make call sheets and start collecting releases starting now if they want to, not the call sheets, but the releases, but they can start doing that as well, all on Friday. Your sound guys can start like downloading music if you're going to download music, although we encourage people to use original music from Texas. But, to each their own. Use the KISS mantra, keep it simple. That doesn't apply to just the story, that applies also to the amount of locations you use. Try and get locations that you can use in a multitude of ways, like one house can become 5 different ones. One room can be like a doctor's office, a kitchen, and some sort of meeting room at the same time. I've seen music videos do that. Be creative, because the more times you actually switch locations, the more time that eats out of your shooting time. Oh yeah, and public spaces do not require a release, but might need a permit. So we do recommend you contact your local film commission, but you don't need to provide those permits to us.
And I recommend doing that before Friday at closing time, because they may not be open on the weekend. So if you've got an idea of a public place that you want to film in, go ahead and reach out to the film commission now. Well, tomorrow morning.
Don't break the 180 rule. If you don't know what the 180 rule is, the 180 rule, if I can remember film school, it was a while ago, I've stopped since then, is that line between the camera and the scene. And if you remember your protractor, That one line there is 180 degrees. And you don't want to move it back and forth. I may be explaining this poorly, but that's why Google is your friend.
I'll admit, I don't even know what the 180 rule is.
It is a thing. If you can break it
Oh, I'm sure.
in an interesting way that suits the story, break it. That's my opinion. Put someone in charge of time, because again, this is a timed filmmaking competition. Edit while you shoot. What that can mean is, one, choosing your shots so you don't get like master coverage and then the close-ups. You just get the shots you want to use for the story. Or it could also mean having your editor there and switching out SD cards and giving them what you just shot to go through to edit while you are shooting. Original music can and does make things better, in our opinion. That's our opinion. Don't depend on the camera mic, please, for the love of God. Because especially if you're running and gunning or it's a hot day, it'll pick up the camera person's breathing. Sometimes the heartbeat. And that's really hard to edit out. And yeah, again, we know it's going to be really hot, but we do recommend turning off the AC because that hum can mess with your sound editing as well. Call sheets can be like currency, meaning your people, the crew, your team can use those call sheets to possibly work on put on their resume, help get them other work. Depending on the call sheet, and it might help them get credit for a union acceptance, depending. And give every department a script. Give wardrobe a script. Give props a script. Give camera a script. Give electric a script. Give everybody a script. We want the stories that only you can tell. This is just a way for us to help you tell those stories. And on that note, break for questions. We have no shame, so you can feel free to call us out on anything. I kid. Anyway. Back to paperwork. This is the one thing we have to cyberstalk and chase y'all down on every single project. We don't enjoy it.
But my daughter will.
I don't enjoy us chasing you down for a signature, right? So this is the person who's going to be handling the paperwork. Don't piss her off. Just turn everything in on Sunday.
Her brother can attest, she's pretty deadly with a chancla.
Music. If music and or sound effects are downloaded, you have to give attribution in the credits and provide a copy of the license. For example, if you purchase them from a website, great. We want the copy of the receipt and the license, because generally with the receipt, they'll also send you what a license or tell you what the license is. We need to know. You upload that with the music release form, like put on the release form, instead of a signature, you can say receipt attached. That's fine. Creative Commons licenses that are non-commercial or share alike, or licenses designate. What is?
I don't know, you put that in there.
No, I can't see everything.
Oh, licenses designated CC0?
Are not compatible with the
Yeah.
48. So just make sure you're aware of that. Releases must have the signature and contact information of the composer and lyricist if you are getting original music. Like you've got somebody there making it, great. Got to have the signature of both of those if it's two different people. If you or they record a cover, a release form from the original copyright holder must be obtained.
We have had films DQ'd for that.
And when we say DQ, it's disqualified, but yeah. One of the fastest ways to get disqualified is either using music without a copyright permission, or a logo or something without copyright permission. And again, if you want to avoid that, original music. Everybody can know a musician or somebody, right? So I'm
Well,
sure
here in Austin they can. I'm not sure about Dallas, but
we have the internet.
this is true.
They have the internet. I assume so, since they're here. And the final product, specs are available when you sign in on the website, but it has to be 2 gigs or less. That comes from HQ. That is not just a Mean Lean thing. That is an HQ thing. When you're uploading it, it must be 2 gigs or less. Or it will not upload.
Yeah.
Level your sound. Edit it without headphones at least once before you lock it in for multiple reasons. One, you can blow out speakers in the theater, because when we put the screeners together, we don't touch anything like sound or anything like that. We just make sure it's in the correct format to screen. Also, you also want to make sure it's not too low, because we need to be able to hear that line. Because if we have to fight to hear it, the judges are not going to be happy. Also, we recommend using stereo for your sound and not mono. Ask us why.
On a time this last June, during a screening, lightning hit the theater. I kid you not.
Power went out temporarily.
Yes,
No one else went out?
fortunately, they had a backup generator. It popped right back, but it did blow out one speaker, and that was the speaker that one of our films had their audio on.
Their audio was only on the mono track.
Yeah.
Therefore, it could not switch to. It did not have like the stereo where it split.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody else just had a mildly annoying hum that most people could ignore. But that one film, you absolutely couldn't hear a thing.
we spent 15 minutes with the owner of the theater trying to fix this. Did not. So
We wound up putting it online free for everybody who had a ticket.
lightning may not strike twice
Yeah.
and do the same thing. However, cover your ass and do that.
People have been hit by lightning multiple times.
You're not generating confidence, Aline.
I'm just saying. Be prepared.
If we can't laugh at the catastrophes we encounter, what can we do, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the 48. Just rolling with it. The drop-off films and paperwork will be submitted entirely online. If you have problems uploading your documentation to the website, that can happen. 1, prioritize uploading the film. 2, contact us, and we might have you just email it to us, depending on what's going on. But prioritize your film. We recommend logging in early Sunday morning, because you stay logged in for 24 hours, and the website likes that better, because apparently having 60 or 80 people try to log into the website at 5:30 p.m. on a Sunday tends to crash it.
Although I think he's fixed that to some extent, but still, let's not chance it. Better
When
safe
you
than
stay
sorry.
logged in for 24 hours, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
We recommend your film be fully rendered by 7 p.m. on Sunday, so you can start uploading it as quickly as possible. If the upload bar hasn't moved for 10 minutes, refresh the browser and upload the exact same file. Uploads can generally take about 20 minutes. This comes from our web guru out there.
But if you start uploading it before the deadline, it will be seen as on time.
Yes.
That said, please start at least 5 minutes before the deadline, because there can be a lag issue. And yeah, we would just, for safety's sake, start uploading no later than 7:25.
Again, it doesn't matter if it ends uploading after 7:30.
Yes.
If it's before 7:30 when you start uploading it. And if you have to refresh it, just use the same exact file, and that'll still count as being on time.
Mhm.
Trailers and images help us help you.
One last thing about the drop off though, is if you have any problems at all, contact us as soon as possible, because we can help you troubleshoot. And if need be, we can find alternate ways of getting your files. We don't want to use alternate ways if we can avoid it, but we will. Okay, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Trailers and images help us help you. Posters. Take a still from your movie, if nothing else, and have fun with it. These appear on our website next to your film's title. They help with the audience choice voting, because we've used them in our audience choice Google form.
they'll also be used, they'll automatically be attached to the form on the website once that goes live, which may happen by then. We're not sure. We're hoping.
Either way, it's useful. Also, it's great to share on social media such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X as it now is. I think I'm too old.
Who
for
cares?
that.
It's Twitter. It'll always be Twitter.
Get off my lawn. Anyway, overall, it's really great for sharing on social media. Trailers, 48 seconds generally. And why 48 seconds?
48
Because it's a
seconds or
48-hour
less.
film project.
Yes.
Those
It
are
has
great
to be 48 seconds or less, just to let you know.
that one. See, we're all learning here. These are great to share on social media as Reels or TikToks or again, Instagram, Facebook. Sharing the trailers on YouTube is great. You promote the screenings, you promote your film, you say, hey, I did this awesome thing in 2 days, come see it. And we share it too. Other images such as group photos, behind the scene pics, stills, movies, etc. We use these to create fun, uplifting memes and marketing materials throughout the year. By we, I mean Aline and I, and by we, I also mean y'all can do it too. Get in on the fun, make some memes. It's a thing, apparently, that the young kids do.
And HQ has specifically asked for 48
Mhm.
specific memes because apparently they've been politely asked not to use any copyrighted images for, obvious reasons. And that's something that some other city producers have done in the past. And so we're trying to avoid doing that in the future. So
Nobody needs any legal issues.
yeah. So yeah, if you want to make a meme and share it with us, if you want to, we're happy to include, we're happy to include your images in memes that we make. They will be uplifting. If they use any terminology that is specifically negative, it's because it's following the trend, like the one I used recently that said "Get in losers, we're making a movie in 48 hours." The "Get in losers" thing is the theme, the meme trend. So I never call any of you guys losers.
Yes, of course, avoid things like slurs, pejoratives, things like that.
Yes, absolutely.
We lift people up, we do not tear people down. And we are inclusive. Damn it. Speaking of Sunday night for the drop off, Aline will be hosting a Zoom meeting and countdown for the drop off. You are free to join us. We will also be announcing, the first team that drops off their film. We'll be giving a running tally, encouraging people. We'll be sharing that Zoom link over the weekend. It starts at 5 and she'll run it until 9.
May run it a little later, but yeah, it depends on how much sleep I've had over the weekend.
Yeah, we don't sleep either, y'all.
Mm-mm.
Screenings are September 25th at the Angelica, right?
Yes.
All submitted films, both on time and late, will also be part of an online screening. So yeah, all films on time and late get screened both at the Angelica and online in a virtual screening available later that week. Each team leader will receive a code for 2 free tickets, either for the in-person screening or for the virtual screening for free. Voting for our audience favorite award will also take place online and in person. Viewers will be asked to select their 3 favorite films. Not 2, not 4, and 5 is right out. So if you want to vote, you have to purchase a ticket. Could that be what a lot of the social media stuff is for? Getting people to come and buy a ticket so they can vote for your film? Even for the virtual screenings, 1 ticket equals 1 vote. So even if you get 1 person to buy it and a bunch of you have a watch party, that's fine, but you only get the 1 vote.
And by voting for 3, that avoids the
Stuffing the ballot box.
yeah, ballot stuffing. It makes it a more fair vote. So
Yeah.
People
also
Karen,
will
you
have
may
the
be able to-
option.
Carrie, you may be able to answer this. Does the film need to be a specific aspect ratio for the theater screenings? I'm still waiting to get the specs from the Angelica.
We
We may
should have that by Friday. in
yeah,
theory,
yeah, I'll have that information by
And
Friday.
we will share that on Friday and in the WhatsApp.
Absolutely.
Good question. What did I say? I completely lost my track of mind. Why do we want people to buy tickets? Not just for the audience favorite awards, which is a really awesome award because it means the people who viewed your movie thought it was really awesome.
Yes.
The tickets are the only way we pay for this. We don't get paid. This goes into paying for the project. And it makes it happen this year. It makes it happen next year. So support local filmmaking.
Please don't be that guy who goes on social media and says, don't worry about buying a ticket. I'll post my film after the premiere. Because, you know, all artists deserve to be paid. And you know, we're artists too. It takes some creativity to do this. So that said, no one can be paid on the project, on the teams, because it is a competition. So it's a little different. But anyway, yeah.
The awards, our best of screening and award show will take place to be determined. Life has been very hectic, both in film and without, and so we're still working on that, but we'll let you know as soon as possible. There will still be awards given out, absolutely. But we are working on that information.
Okay, question, is there anything against using stock footage or any footage shot before Friday? Yes.
Excellent question. Yes, you cannot use stock footage or footage shot before Friday. You can use stock
can.
photos.
Yes.
As long as one, you have the materials released for them, and two, they're not the primary thing and they cannot be like put together to create a moving image. So no flip book photos like that. Any other questions? Good questions, y'all. All right. Operation Roller Up. We want you. We need you. Not only to create amazing films, but to help us fill the theater. How to spread the word. Aline, you want to take this?
Okay, so you can make a trailer. Post it on social media with the ticket link. I should have the ticket link available and live by Sunday. I'm still working on the ticket site. And there may have been a slight change. We may be moving it to a different platform. But I will have all of that live and ready to go by Sunday. So yeah, create a trailer, create a movie poster, etc., and get the word out. Tell people that you have a screening, tell people that you had fun, and get as many people in that theater as possible. So yeah, create the post, your trailer, your team name, your film name, the screening group, the date and time, the link to the ticket site. Tag all your members, and then post it everywhere you can.
I do want to mention one other thing. Part of the reason we say share it everywhere is because we think it's important that your loved ones, your friends, your family, your supporters have not just the option to come and see it, but no, they are wanted to come and see it. We've had a friend we met through filmmaking. She was a frequent 48er and she passed away, and her immediate family, her husband had never seen any of her films.
Her husband, her son, and her business partner had never been to one of her screenings. And I can't think of anything sadder than that. That's a part of her life that they missed out on.
And your loved ones would want to see this, I would think.
Yeah.
So that's another reason for sharing it everywhere and making sure people know they are wanted at the screenings, virtual or in person. Here's all our social media. Please tag the fuck out of us and whatever you share. And also follow us for announcements. And that is the end of my formal presentation. This will be gone over again at the kickoff, of course, with our lovely Aline being Miss Vanna White. And at the kickoff also is where you'll get the elements and you'll draw your genres.
All right. Now, does anybody need help with, let's see, copy the size and send to our teams. We will have a copy of this available after the kickoff. because there are other slides after this that will include the elements once we get them. So we'll have all of that ready and we'll send them to everybody after the kickoff.
Yeah.
So yeah, has everybody, let's,
But trailers, posters, and other promotionals are not due on Sunday. They're due after Sunday, hopefully
Yes.
before the 25th, whenever you get them to us.
yeah.
Mhm.
We would love to see them on Tuesday. You know, you get some rest on Monday, you recover, and then Tuesday would be a great time to see all of those.
Yeah, Sunday after the upload, you celebrate, pass out on Monday, Tuesday, give us the promotional materials.
Has everybody uploaded their team lead agreement?
If you haven't, speak up in the chat and say if there's an issue.
Yeah, because we are happy to help you. Okay, let's see. Team leader agreement to include. Okay, the film leader, are you referring to the animated slate? Because we're not using that this year. The reasons for that started out with just they have a new logo, and the old logo is in the animated slate. And then they discovered that someone told them that they were happy it wasn't being used because it caused problems with their epilepsy. So we're going to try to create one that does not trigger epilepsy. You know, we had no idea that that was an issue before, but now that we are aware, that's something that we want to avoid. So we're just doing the slates with, you know, this film was made for the 48-hour film project, and then your name, etc. And all that information was in the slate instructions that I sent out in an email, but I'll also be passing that out in a written form. I will be passing out printouts of that at the kickoff as well. So let's see.
No, you do not have to submit a physical copy. It just has to be uploaded to the 48 website.
Right. In fact, that's what we prefer. Somebody said they had not yet. Okay, so we've got a few who have not yet uploaded it. Are you having any trouble with that? Do you understand the process? Because we're happy to walk you through it.
Yes, can you walk me through it, please?
Certainly. Okay, let me pull up the website and then I will. Which of these gazillion websites is? I have way too many pages or windows, and then far too many tabs open. So I have to do a little searching. They're all very organized though. Okay, so all right, let me share my screen. Okay, so here is what we see as the team, our team lists. So we'll just, what's your team name?
Key Story Production.
Key Story. Okay, so we'll go ahead and log in as the team on that one. Okay, and so I'm supposed to be able to see everything you can see. So if you'll go down to pre-production and pre-kickoff paperwork, that is where you will upload your team lead agreement.
I see.
So I think that's the only one that's pre-production.
That is the only one that's pre-production. The rest of them are in production under paperwork and additional content.
There we go.
So this will be where we will put all of our the waivers that need to be signed. It will all go into the pre-production
No,
drop.
No.
the waivers go under production.
Right, they go under here. So, waiver and release form. That's where you're gonna wanna put this, put the
Oh, I
waiver.
see.
But for the team lead agreement, that's pre-production. That is the only pre-production paperwork that you need to upload.
But again, nothing says
Okay.
you can't start gathering signatures now.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, and you can upload those, even though it's still technically pre-production, you can go ahead and start uploading those to production.
Oh,
Now.
nice.
And filling out your roster. Again, please
Yeah.
make sure the name on the roster matches the name on the waiver.
Yes, because if we have a different number of waivers than names on the roster, and again, we can look at the roster and go, okay, there's 12 names because there's 12 roles, but there's a few people have been, duplicated in there. That's fine. That's fine. We can work that out.
But if, let's say, John Q. Public goes by Jazzy J, and he signs the waiver, John Q. Public, but he's Jazzy J on the roster, there's no way for us to know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
we
see.
need, we at least need someone to put his real name, his, legal signature name in parentheses or something,
Mhm.
so that we can go, oh, okay, that's the one it is.
And we don't have to see all about missing a waiver for somebody we've already got.
And
I
again, I
see.
think there's this earlier, you can have John Q. Public as the director and as the music composer, and have two different, listings in the roster. I think they're working on getting it where you can add several different
And some
roles.
they've been able to add several different roles, some of them they haven't. I'm
Okay,
not particular on it, as long as we've got the names matching and as long as the releases are signed and they're on the roster.
but
That's
if-
what I care
yeah,
about.
if we've got them listed twice and we only have one waiver for them, that's fine. That is okay.
Now, if
Okay,
there's a music
perfect.
composer, we need a waiver and a music release.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's entirely different.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you have, if they're
you-
actually on your crew and like doing original music for the film, we are going to need a waiver and a music release.
Yeah.
Both. If it's, you got your music from your friend down the street, you just need the music release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, quick, one other note about that. If you don't use any music for your film, which is your right, if you don't use any copyrighted materials or post-production materials, anything like that, that's fine. Upload a document that just says we didn't use any additional materials. Or
That's
we
just-
didn't use any music, and just put that in there for us.
That way
Instead
we
of
don't
us
have
just
to do
wondering-
we don't have to do the research.
That way we don't have to say, did you use music? Did you use materials? That sort of thing.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
These are just things that make it easier on us, not hassling you later.
Any other questions about the team lead agreement or any of the paperwork or?
Anything about the upcoming weekend?
Cool. And y'all should have all gotten the WhatsApp. Yeah, I can probably put the code in the
4
chat.
questions regarding this weekend. When you're on it, please use the WhatsApp. We're happy to later on, if we need to, call people or things like that, but use the WhatsApp first.
Yes. If you need to say, hey, I've got a problem, I'd really like a phone call, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Okay, I'm going to get the link. Copy named, okay. There we go. And y'all are welcome to share that with your team members as well. Okay, I'm going to share my screen one more time and just make sure. All right, so on the weekend, on Sunday, this is where you're uploading the film under production. And yeah, it's not available now, so, but it will be. So that kind of, yeah, so this is available. The paperwork and additional content is available.
Under production, can you go to do the wrap up as well? There we go.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. So this one will also become available after the kickoff. The wrap up is important, and that's where you get your certification statement, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, but yes, you have to do that.
So. Anything else? I don't think so. Okay.
As we said, we're gonna have this in-person screening on the 25th. Later that week, I believe on that Friday, we'll have a virtual screening available as well with tickets for sale.
And
For
you all know where the kickoff is, right? You have a representative that will be there because they have to be there in person.
At least one person.
Yeah.
We've seen it before where a person's only job was to be at the kickoff, and that is totally fine.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, as we all know, half the battle is getting just some people to just show up to do the job.
That's why I never let her go, because she showed up.
When I said I would.
I know, right?
I am so glad that you're excited. Is this your first, quick in the chat, who's this first time doing a 48? That makes me so happy. I love seeing new people involved.
We love seeing our old people involved too. Not that, age is an issue or anything. It's been a long day for me.
Hopefully you first timers will become frequent 48ers.
Yes.
Yes, and here's why, because that way, depending on what your job as is, besides being a team lead, like some team leads are just producers, some team leads are also directors, some team leads are camera people, some team leads are actors. That way you can focus on your job to get everything made and have somebody else just uploading the paperwork.
I may recommend to Voucher that they have the
Secondary login.
Yeah, eventually they have a secondary login for that, because that would be very helpful.
It might be, but I don't think it'll happen. But either way,
I have Vince.
you're not giving them your email login. You're not letting them log into your email. You're just letting them log into your 48 account.
Right.
So it's your first time doing paperwork and you're a team lead. Get as much done before Friday as possible then.
Yeah.
And then generally for a timeline of how the 48 works, we've seen this happen. Friday is for writing and for logistics. When I say logistics, I mean, okay, we've written this thing, where are we going to go? And you're figuring that out. You're telling everybody where to go and at what time to be there and how you're going to get food there if you need food. I recommend food. Making sure there are bathrooms nearby, accessible.
Who has access to the prop? Or do you need to go buy the prop? And where are you going to find the prop? We try to keep the props fairly easily accessible.
We had breakfast tacos one time. But
I had to fight for that one.
I know, it's so weird. They didn't want to do that. They said, where are people going to get a breakfast taco? And we're like, y'all, have
Swing
you
a
been
dead
to
cat.
people from DC and Albuquerque? I swear, more DC than Albuquerque, but they don't understand breakfast tacos.
Tacos.
Anyway,
I
but
can
yeah, Fridays for writing and logistics. Saturday generally is for shooting. All day, usually, with food, breaks, of course.
water.
Make sure you water and caffeinate your crew. Water, especially because again, it's going to be hot. We recommend turning off the AC while you're shooting for better sound. And it gets hot under those lights and inside in general. So make sure everybody's hydrated. They'll hydrate. Caffeine, because sleep is for the weak. And Sunday, generally, as soon as you are happy and you're saying we're done shooting, you wrap shooting on Saturday, you start editing immediately. At that point, though, you always want to make sure your sound guy has all the sound he needs. I say sound guy, it could be a sound woman or a sound non-binary person. Sound person, crew person in charge of sound. Because if they need to ADR, which is, if you're not familiar with the term, alternate dialogue recording, meaning they have to just record the dialogue again and you match it up later in post. You want to do that as soon as possible while they're still in the moment and you have access to them. You don't want to be chasing them down later on Sunday. So yeah, as soon as possible Sunday especially is for editing, sound design, all of that.
Fortunately, it
And
looks
uploading
like we're getting a bit of a break on the heat this weekend. The high will be between 84 and 88.
It still
So-
gets hot under lights and inside with that AC.
Yes, and it's still Texas, and you know, if you don't like the weather here, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. So,
Again, please stay safe. If you're outside, make sure you're hydrated and wearing sunscreen. The only drama we want to see is on screen. We want everybody safe and sound. But yeah, that's typically how we've seen most things work. Is that kind of a delineation, but y'all do what is best for you. We've seen magic happen with, I mean, we've had one person do just stop motion animation in his dad's garage the whole weekend, and it turned out really good.
and it was a single person only on that team.
Doing writing, sound, shooting, everything. He did say he was hallucinating by the end of the weekend though, so I don't recommend it. But be creative and understand, you know, when something is important and it's a live or die decision, and when something is a decision. If it's important, you take the time to make the decision. If it's you don't need to make that decision, just go without,
Mhm.
you know? Because you do have a limited amount of time to shoot, especially if you're shooting outside, the light will change, shadows change, and you want to make sure you work with that.
Is anybody still looking for cast or crew?
Solis, was that you?
Stones? Are you a member of our discussion group on Facebook? I know Facebook is for old people, but you know.
No, I'm not.
Okay, if you have a Facebook login, I highly recommend looking for the Dallas 48-hour film project group, and join it and see if, you know, post on there, say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And yeah, we don't have, I think we only have about 300 members there so far, but we're growing the group bit by bit, and you never know when someone might be available. So I know I had somebody ask me just today, how do I become an actor on one of your teams? And I said, well, you go to this group, you introduce yourself. So. And
Sorry,
hopefully
what was the name of the group again?
it's if you type in Dallas 48-hour film project, it should come up. It may be 48-hour film project Dallas.
Can you post that link in the Zoom chat?
You know, I could do that. That would be a great idea.
See, together we have like an actual whole brain most of the time.
Every once in a while. And when we don't, that's when Lila steps in.
Any other questions, concerns about this weekend?
There we go.
Everybody, is everybody excited? I know Ryan is, but is everybody excited?
Okay, and we all know where we're going. In Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. By 6 o'clock is when things get started. We let y'all go around 7 o'clock. So we recommend, if you can, get there a little early, 5:30-ish. And
Let you get
get there
settled in
too
and
early,
not
we
leave
might recruit you to help set up. But yeah, get there, try to get there before 6 so we can get everybody signed in on time and everything. So,
Again, if you're having issues getting somebody there, please communicate with us.
yes.
We will bend over backwards whenever possible to make sure that y'all are good. But we
And
need to communicate with us.
A representative can be on more than one team.
Yes.
So if you're, you know, if something gets stuck and you're like, oh man, I cannot make it, let us know as soon as possible, and we'll see if we can help you recruit somebody to act as your representative there.
And again, if that's their only job on your team, that's still legit.
They still need a waiver though.
But again, they can be signed electronically. It's great. Oh, also, signatures need to look like signatures. They cannot be printed. They have to look like signatures.
They can be typed in script, you know, like a DocuSign, which I would really wish we had something like that would
We're
We'll make
working on it.
Easier, but we're working on it. So yeah, they can be typed as script, but not just plain print type. We need to have it at least look like somebody signed it.
Cursive. That's
Yeah.
all.
Even a bad signature made on a cell phone is acceptable. So,
As long as we have the signature and then their name printed, that's perfect.
yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Any other questions? I will say a lot can happen in one weekend. One team I know, when they went to edit, they lost all their sound, so they had to turn it into a silent film on the fly.
Oh,
I've seen-
we had one film back in 2015 that they'd written the script, and the next day their lead actress dropped out, just totally bailed on them. So they had to recast the role and completely change the married couple to a gay married couple. And then the guy who was going to play the monster became the husband, and they had to use their sound guy as the monster. So, and it worked. They won.
But
but-
the lesson is to roll with the
Think on your feet.
punches, try to adapt. Things are gonna happen and you're not always gonna have the easiest time to recover from them the way you want to. So it's always good to not just have a plan A, plan B, and plan C, but try to have a plan at least all the way to J, if not Z.
In worst case scenario, if you just can't get your film in,
On time,
yeah, on time, we will accept them. We'll accept late films a little after the deadline, and
through,
still,
I believe, Monday, midnight at
Yeah.
Monday.
and we'll still screen those, and they'll still be up for audience award. If you decide not to turn something in, or if it just turns out that you can't, for whatever reasons, it's okay. It's a learning experience. And if you have something that you can turn into a film later, or that you can add to turn into a film later, we highly encourage you to submit
so.
that to film festivals.
Yeah.
And even if you do get it in on time and eligible and everything, please consider submitting your film to film festivals, because and let us know, because we are proud of you guys, and we want the world to know what you've done. And other film festivals may be looking for something that our judges are not. Our judges are going to be looking pretty hard at adherence and that sort of thing, whereas another festival might be looking for something different. So even if your film does not go far in the 48, it can go, the sky's the limit anywhere else.
Because as you all know, film is art and art is subjective. We do change up our judges every year, but they are humans. So maybe it's just not, they're not looking for what you gave, which is fine. You still, one, made a film in 2 days, which is pretty awesome. And two, you have a film you can take to film festivals and show other people and be proud of.
Exactly.
People should all be proud of that. Okay,
Okay.
if nobody has any other questions, I will call this a wrap. We look forward to seeing what y'all do.
I'm going to make one quick look and see if anybody has posted anything on our social media about this. Where did I put that? All right, come on. Oh, that is it, isn't it? This is not the group. This is the group. I don't want the group. I want the page. Where's the page? There we go. Boom. Okay.
No, Ryan, don't actually kill people. If you have to, make sure you get it on camera so you can use it.
Yeah.
That way you have an alibi, maybe. I don't know. So no, officer, it wasn't real. It was just for film.
Yeah, that's why we really recommend not using guns, just because, especially these days, shoot first, ask questions later, it gets dangerous.
Even if your gun has the safety orange chip, they might not see it.
Yeah.
And again, we'd rather y'all all be safe. Each and every single one of you. And we can't afford to bail anyone out of jail, so.
No. All right, dang it, where did my YouTube page go?
I'm so glad at least someone's laughing at my jokes.
I'm laughing on the
I feel like I'm a
inside.
funny person. Thank you.
Um,
I
all
gotta
right,
go.
no, it looks like
Thank
we're
y'all.
good.
Yeah, thank y'all so much for being here. I can't wait to see what you do. Sadly, I cannot be at the kickoff because I have to work. I wish I could be there. My heart and spirit are with y'all this weekend.
All right. All right, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.